Harry Potter. In terms of the literary and cinematic worlds, there are not many names that are bigger than that. In terms of home video, Harry Potter also hangs in there right with the biggest of the big. So in front of me I have several Harry Potter releases that have just come out to look at. We'll start with the newest movie, which is of course Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. For my money, this is one of the best in the series. I'd probably rank it second of my favorite among the six so far, right after Prisoner of Azkaban, which of course directed by Alfonso Cuarón, is still to me the best of the films, but Half-Blood Prince is right up there, almost as good, which surprised me because I didn't really care for the previous film, which was also directed by David Yates. Knowing that he directed this film as well, I was a little bit apprehensive that maybe it would be kind of dull and boring as the fifth film in the series was, but instead I was really, really engaged in this film. It has a few minor flaws. I think the climax and the revelation of who the Half-Blood Prince is a little bit of a letdown because there seems to be not much explanation behind it. Keep in mind, I haven't read the books. I'm watching all of these films solely based on the films themselves. I have no previous knowledge of the characters beyond what I've heard in passing conversations. Still, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince is a fantastic, exciting, fun fantasy film. I had a really good time with it. It was one of my favorite movies of the summer. Now, I've read some complaints online about the transfer of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince to Blu-ray in high definition, but I have to say I didn't notice any particular flaws with it. Some occasional soft imagery, some occasional excessive grain are present, but for the most part they seem to kind of be the type of thing that was intended by the filmmaker. There's nothing here that really looks out of place or like any actual artifacts that might take away from your enjoyment of the movie. Overall, it looks pretty fantastic. Surround sound-wise, of course, this is a top-notch surround soundtrack. Dolby True HD English 5.1 surround soundtrack, to be sure. And of course, with a movie like this, lots of action, lots of special effects, these speakers do get worked up quite well. In terms of extra features, Warner gives the fans of the franchise a lot to work with here. While the packaging is a little misleading in terms of what they call the Maximum Movie Mode, this is still a pretty packed disc. The Maximum Movie Mode is the in-depth, picture-in-picture and immersive kind of experience that they put on Watchmen and Terminator Salvation, where the director of the film actually interrupts the movie to point things out and talk about how the film was created. In this case, what you get is a traditional picture-in-picture track with your making-of interviews and storyboards and such like that. Of course, it's still a pretty fantastic extra feature. It's just not quite what the packaging implies. In addition to that, there are a number of other extra features to be found, including focus points, which are a number of short behind-the-scenes featurettes running about 40 minutes in total, a close-up with the cast of Harry Potter, which is a series of interview featurettes, runs about a half an hour, 1-minute drills, which are short 1-minute interviews with major cast members, the thing a lot of people will be talking about, the first footage from the Deathly Hallows. This is a very short teaser trailer for the next film. It runs about a minute with about a minute's introduction. One of the nice features, while it was a bomb on television, is J.K. Rowling A Year in the Life. And this is an almost hour-long special all about J.K. Rowling and how she crafts the Harry Potter stories. What's on Your Mind is an interview featurette, runs about 7 minutes, while the Wizarding World of Harry Potter is a pretty cool little sneak peek at the Harry Potter attraction that's being built as part of Universal Studios down in Florida. Finally, there's some additional footage, which runs about 7 minutes, about 8 total scenes. They're all pretty short, nothing that's going to redefine how you think about the movie. But it's there, and the fans, I'm sure, will enjoy seeing it. And finally, you get a digital download copy of the movie. So all in all, there's a lot going on with this disc. Fans should have nothing to complain about. Ultimately, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince is something that is kind of a review-proof movie. Fans are going to rush out and buy it no matter what. Some people may detract the movie as being just another one in a line of sequels, but as far as I'm concerned, it's one of the best films in the franchise, and it's certainly one that I am going to revisit a few more times in the future. Next up, we have the Harry Potter Ultimate Editions. Now, this is a series of box sets that are coming out that will eventually be released for all the films in the series. So far, we just have the first 2 films in the series. That's Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone and Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. These behemoth box sets really are the ultimate editions of the Harry Potter movies. They're available on both Blu-ray and DVD. Now, there's a little confusion about these sets, and there's kind of a caveat for people out there who are big Harry Potter fans. A lot of the material in these sets is recycled, and yes, these films have been double dipped to death. In addition to the original releases, and I believe there were 2-disc versions as well as single-disc versions, there's also the limited edition Years 1 through 5 gift set, which came out last year, which included exclusive bonus features. These sets include all of the bonus features from all of the previous editions, at least to my knowledge. From what I can tell, there's nothing missing from any of those previous editions. So if you skip out on the limited editions of Years 1 through 5, you're in luck because all of that material is included here. What you get that's new in the Ultimate Editions are both the theatrical and the extended versions of both the movies. In the case of number 1, that equals about 7 minutes of extra footage that's never been seen in the film before. And in the case of number 2, that's about 13 minutes worth of footage. In addition, on the Blu-ray versions, there are the in-movie experience, which is much like on Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, the picture-in-picture kind of making-of feature that runs through the entire movie. Each of the movies also has a new exclusive introduction from Daniel Radcliffe, and Part 2 includes never-before screen tests of Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Emma Watson. In addition, each box comes with 2 character cards, of which there's going to be a whole series for people to collect. And on top of that, there is the hardcover book that comes in each set. And this is kind of the pièce de résistance, if you will. Each one of these is a 48-page hardcover book filled with photos and facts about the filming of the movies, and they're really pretty spectacular. They're very nice pieces for any Harry Potter collector to want to have in their collection. On top of all that, the real meat of the extra features in terms of the video content is the making of documentaries. It's a 7-part series that's going to run through all of the films, and each one is an in-depth look at a certain aspect of the creation of each of these films. These are brand new documentaries created especially for these box sets. So in addition to some other numerous little featurettes, well, you really do get a nice chunky documentary on each of the box sets. The packaging on these is gorgeous. You really can't go wrong with them. They run about $50 a piece, suggested retail price. You can probably find them on sale a little cheaper than that. I do have to say, though, if you're a Harry Potter fan, these are going to be the editions you're going to want in your collection. Much like the Lord of the Rings extended edition box sets from New Line a few years back, these are some really gorgeous collector's pieces with tons of new content to keep Harry Potter fans busy for hours and hours. So, without a doubt, each one of these 3 DVD Blu-ray releases gets my highly recommended stamp.